Start the recording right now. So basically,
Yeah.
again, I think I don't know if you've seen any of such interviews, but what we really do is kind of understand. This interviews about understanding who you are, and ultimately, it's about helping others do what you've done, which is ace the GMAT.
Right.
You improved from what 540 to 710.
Yeah, I know. 5:30. Five. I just rechecked. It was 5:30 in my
Okay.
first attempt. I had a second attempt which was 6:30,
Okay.
and yes, then I got a 7:10.
Wow.
Right.
And over how long a span are we talking about?
Over a year.
Over a year. Okay.
Over a year and a half.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And were
'Cause
you constantly studying during this time, or?
no, not at all. So when I gave it the first time and this happened, I was sort of shocked because I didn't expect that. My mocks had a 690, 680. I had a 700 also. So I didn't really expect that to happen.
Mhm.
After that, and it really takes a lot of your patience and time when you are actually studying. So as soon as I was done, you can't get back to studying, or at least I couldn't have gotten back to studying immediately. So I left it for a month and a half, and
Mhm.
then I studied for 2 3 months, and I gave it in October 2013.
Mhm.
And I had a 720 730 on the mocks, and I went into to the paper, and I got a 630, and I was dazed again out of my mind what's happening. And you know,
Mhm.
when that happens the second time, you really begin to doubt your own ability.
That's true.
Because but at the same time, you know, you're fighting with yourself, because uh, you won't make yourself do something which you can't achieve. So you know, I know you can do it, but it's just not happening, and you don't know why. The thing is, you just don't know why.
That is
Why?
true.
Yeah, you don't know why it's not happening. So yes, and then I thought I'm not gonna give it again, because I didn't know whether I can give it
Mhm.
again. I had pretty much exhausted a lot of the study resources I have. I mean, you name it, especially in English, you just
Mhm.
name it, and I would have probably done it. I've read Manhattan GMAT couple of
Mhm.
times. I've studied. I've joined the Kaplan course,
Mhm.
which
You mean the Chopra's course over here?
yeah, which is particularly of no use at all. So I joined the Chopra's course thinking that, you know, something will happen for the second attempt,
Mhm.
and nothing happened. And then in October, again, you know, I had a 630, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I've exhausted resources. Where will I get new resources
Mhm.
to study from? And then I let it go. I let it go for quite a lot of months, actually. I think I
Mhm.
let it go till March, April,
Mhm.
April. I let it go, and then I thought, okay, uh, I never really want. So I've you know, been doing pretty well at work, and I am working along a lot of people who have graduated from the IIMs and the
Mhm.
SPJs and all. They are my counterparts. So I didn't really one, have the patience. Two, I don't know whether I would have actually sit and got the CAT, because it is so uncertain. You might be getting a 99 in percentile, but that day you just get a 97 and you're not there.
Actually, even with
So
the 99, you don't know what you would get at.
exactly. And the third reason was that when I was doing so well professionally, and I am working, you know, in a very good job profile out of an engineering college, and
Mhm.
I am working with these with the people who have graduated from MBA colleges. I didn't really think that an Indian college is going to give me that value add.
Mhm.
So I thought that, so the only way out again was to, you know, pick up my pick up my books again, and I started actually, I'll tell you what happened. So I started looking at forums and GMAT club,
Mhm.
trying to see whether do people give the GMAT the third time, because before that I never even came on. I really never did too much of GMAT club, at least.
Mhm.
So I was,
But
because
you
I
were
joined.
aware of it, right?
I was aware of it, that something like this exists, but
Mhm.
I had an account also, but I really never went and read too much and all. So I started reading when I wanted to find out whether do people give it three times, and do colleges accept a
Mhm.
score the third time. That's when I started reading on GMAT Club, and then I saw a lot of success stories, and I saw a lot of stories where people are saying people have given it four times, five times, and as long as you're improving, it doesn't really matter. And lot of the colleges consider your last score. So that's when I decided that okay, let's go for it one more time. But I think the essential part over here was to figure out what will I do differently, because I didn't really, because I would do well in the mocks. I was stuck at a 33, 34 in my English. I never really crossed that. If you even in the mocks, I could somehow never cross that. I could never be there on the time. I'm not really a reader, so I felt my reading speed was slow. And somehow, beyond the point, I didn't know how to improve in English, and rather what to improve in English, because I had finished all the course material.
But let's kind of go this in a chronological order. But I have a curious question overall, which is you knew GMAT Club existed.
Yes.
You knew Beat the GMAT existed, right?
Yeah.
But for 2 attempts for a period of about 1 year, actually longer than a year, right? We don't know about 2013 March to 2014 March.
Right.
Why? And you're a techie guy.
Right. Okay.
So why not go to GMAT Club then? And why buy courses just to really say, okay, I'm going to go buy this course, I'm going to try this thing out?
So I'll tell you, the first time I gave the GMAT, I had a lot of friends giving it with me. So I really never planned and structured and all. Everyone was giving it, and I thought, okay, even I'm going to give it. And I sort of asked them what have they started using, what are they studying, how to study, and I just did it all by myself. If I can say, my math is otherwise also good, so I didn't have to put in too much of an effort. I did a little bit of studying, and I bombed the exam. So at a 5:30. So that attempt was really not a very serious, which I think is which I think now is very immature of me to be doing that. But anyway, the second attempt, I went and joined Kaplan. Right. So then you make them your you put your faith into them, and then they say that they'll guide you, and I just listened to whatever they said. So
but you didn't go to GMAT Club even then. You just said
no. So they gave me a couple of links on the GMAT Club to maybe go solve questions.
But that was after you joined their course.
Yes, after I joined their course. After I never got on to doing the internet research on how to crack GMAT. Never really went. I had an account on GMAT Club, which obviously I must have gone, but I never really went and read too many forums.
Okay.
I mean, no excuses, but maybe the work and along with it, I didn't really do that. I didn't even know that I needed to do that. I thought I'll just probably study from these books and it'll happen. So maybe not too much of a serious attempt.
So let's take some context here, Nikhil. Right?
Okay.
You said you're an engineer by background. Where did you do your engineering from?
From Manipal, MIT.
Okay, and Manipal does have an entrance exam, right?
Yes.
So how did you do in that entrance exam?
So I'll tell you, I myself am dazed at how I cracked the entrance exam. Okay, because I have never really gone and for these coachings, for those engineering coachings. So if you want me to go a little behind, my parents never wanted. I studied in Hyderabad. My parents are based in Hyderabad, and over there, everyone sort of goes into these Narayana Chaitanya sort of colleges. Yeah, where they go and really prepare for engineering.
You wake up at 5 in the morning and you go to the study, and
it's actually obnoxious. So I too studied from there. I too did my 10th in Hyderabad, and then my parents sent me to Pune, and I did my plus 11th and 12th in Pune in a boarding school called Bishops. And I did the ICSE course. Yeah, and I got a 90% in my 12th with a 100 in math. I got a 63 in chemistry. I still ended up getting a 90. So you can imagine the other scores. And then after I got out, everybody was giving these engineering exams, and I also decided to give a few of them, and Manipal just clicked for me. So I really never got a feeling of being in a competitive exam earlier.
Okay.
Okay. Manipal happened because I probably a month or two
Mhm.
spoke to people who are in Manipal. They gave me some course material,
Mhm.
which I sort of studied. I mean, the ICSE books are huge themselves, so I
Mhm.
knew a bit of the stuff. I had
Mhm.
a lot of other friends who were really preparing for the exams, so I
Mhm.
borrowed some material from them. So that was a month of preparation, and I made it to Manipal.
Okay, so you were in some way you kind of were under the impression that you're a natural test taker, and that's the same thing.
No, 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 no,
No,
nothing,
okay.
nothing, no, 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 nothing like that. If I can put it in a way, I have never, until the GMAT, I have really never gone and faced too much competition. And
No,
yeah,
but you're working side by side with IIMs, right?
today, yes. So that's after, so that's after I graduated from Manipal. But again, I really, especially this test taking thing, I never knew it can take so much of a toll on you.
Okay.
I've never sensed it before. So people, people used to say you're overconfident at times, and at least you're always confident. I've never had stage fright. I've never had exam fright. Nothing, never.
It doesn't seem like you have stage fright the way you're talking, to be very frank.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there
So
are no ums and ahs in your conversation. I know when I had to. So in my college, I was the joint secretary of a cultural society, and I had never taken the stage before that. Probably a couple of times when I was in DPS, but not a
okay.
whole lot. And I know I had to train in front of the mirror. I had to really focus on my ums and ahs, and even then it was very difficult for me. But you don't seem like a guy who needs any of that.
Yeah, it was pretty much like whenever I have really wanted a thing and I have worked for it,
Hmm.
I have sort of ended up getting it.
Which is good. Which is good. So let's
That's
now first
yeah.
attempt. Not a whole lot of preparation. You got MGMAT books for that or not?
First attempt, no, I had the OG. I had some, what do you call? I had some online. I had the online material for MGMAT, the English, the sentence correction thing,
Okay,
but not the whole material
just
for
the
that.
SC guide. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just had the OG. The first attempt, if I can remember correctly, I
Hmm.
had the OG. Yeah, I studied mostly from the OG. Yeah.
Okay, and you were still doing, you said, around 690, 700 in mocks at that time as well.
Why? Yes, yes, yes. 690, 680. I had touched in the GMAT prep mock.
Hmm.
Towards the end, I got a 680, 690.
Okay, and then you went and took the exam. So how different was the exam from the mocks that you were, or how different did it feel?
Okay, for me, very different. People said that there would be like you'll have a plus or minus 50 in the score and stuff like that. Actually, you know what? I knew my English was my weaker section,
Hmm.
and I knew I hadn't studied too much for the first attempt.
Hmm.
When I started, my math really didn't go that well.
Hmm.
Okay, I mean, I was hitting a 50, 49, 48, 50, in my math. But when I was giving the exam itself, I knew that it's not going that well.
Hmm.
So from there, and I knew English is my weak point. So even before I started the English exam, I had sort of lost hope.
Okay, like mentally, okay, if Quant was going to be my savior and Quant hasn't gone as great,
Yeah, yeah. I
okay,
pretty much
that's
I
now.
pretty much lost hope, and if you see, I've sent my score report. I have a 19 in my first this thing.
Yeah, first
Yeah,
attempt onwards.
my first verbal score is 19. Uh, you generally wouldn't go that low when you're getting a 680, 690 in the mocks,
Yes.
but yeah, but beyond the 15th 16th question, my English also I knew was not going well. I actually started. I lost interest in the exam. Actually guessed a lot of questions and moved ahead and just finished the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And my palms were sweating, which was I had a feeling I had never felt before.
Wow.
I've
So,
never felt so nervous,
mm,
or I've never felt. so out of situation and really so blank ever in my life.
Okay, okay. Wow, wow. I can actually imagine that. Um, uh, I not in a competitive exam. Well, you can say kind of competitive, but my first ever job interview I sat in,
Okay.
and it was one of those things where I really, really wanted it, and I messed
Okay.
it up.
I think that's where the problem comes when you really, really want it. I never really, really, really wanted something that bad, and when you want it, I think it just builds up.
It definitely does, and I still remember there were those simple quant questions, 3D solids, and I could solve them in my mind and in the exam.
Yeah.
God, what's gonna happen? Um, so funny thing. So this was we were talking about '99. It was Lucent. It was the first company
Okay.
on campus I wanted to get through, and
Okay.
um, and this happened. Couldn't get through the aptitude test. So the third company came, Citycop Overseas. I didn't want that,
Okay.
and because I bombed my aptitude test with Lucent, I said I'm just gonna go for the heck of it because I want to do well in the aptitude test. And,
Okay.
and,
Okay.
and then in the middle of it, the same thing happened. And then I told myself, but I don't want this job. So why worry about how the test would happen? Let me just focus on the question. And I aced it. And the funny story. So I went to the interview. They said, okay, do you know programming? I said, sorry, I don't know anything. I
Okay.
started learning C like 3 months back. Said, okay,
Okay.
a very simple line of code. I even messed that up. They still
Okay.
and that was end of story for campus placement for me. And I was like, so but again, bottom line is if you want something really bad, you're going to mess it up. And then
True.
if you start sweating, and I think I want to kind of if you don't mind, share a part of your score report.
Okay. Sure.
So so uh, so so this is the 19 score over here. I can just zoom it in probably. Right.
Yeah.
So the quant was bombed up and again impacted verbal. Right. So
Right.
let me just stop the share once again. So we are back. So then what? So then you went over, you joined the Chopras, and then you started preparing. How long was that phase?
That was 2 months.
Okay.
So I think the first exam I gave was in May. May, I think.
The first
Yeah.
exam, 15th May. Yes.
Yeah. I think I skipped June, July,
Hmm.
and yes, it was August, September, and then I think I gave it on October 18th.
October 18th. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you gave the exam on 18th of October, and then so how was this preparation phase? What all did you prepare? And
So okay, so you get a 19, and then there is there's a lot to improve. So it's an ocean. You feel you're at zero. So all I did was that okay, I knew English was the area of improvement. I went to Chopra's and I told them that this is how it is,
Mhm.
and they immediately got me enrolled into the course, which I did without thinking,
Mhm.
and uh, not really too many good coaching centers or institutes for the GMAT. Okay, there might be tons and tons for the CAT. I don't know the quality, but I think GMAT requires a little more than that.
Mhm.
Uh, so India, bad situation because I've gone to a couple of two, three of them. I went to the Manyas, and I don't know
That's a
if you were
Princeton review, by the way.
yeah, Princeton review. I went to Chopra's, a couple of two, three other sort of boutique institutes, but I felt I at that time felt that the Chopra's, the two teachers who were there, I thought I'll probably manage with them. Then a couple of friends told me that the Kaplan material is good.
Okay.
So I think that combined, I didn't have too much time because I wanted to apply that time in that year.
Oh yeah, October, right? Yes.
Yeah. So I did not really think or do so much. So I just and I was and my I'm in a sales and marketing job, and you always have a number pressure going on. I move around in the city also. So not only am I mentally stressed, it's physically taxing as well.
Mhm.
Uh, Probably I didn't put in too much effort into the research. I think which was really important.
Mhm.
Because your ability won't change so much. Capability will change. So I just went and joined them. I started attending their classes. They said 2 months, you put in 2 hours in the morning and it will happen. And I did that, and I tried to really improve my English by just doing more and more of material, not really getting down to what's happening.
And why things are wrong and why things are right.
Yes, and I would go to the thing is that the teachers are not that well qualified. There are times that when you ask them doubts, you feel that you probably have a better take on this than them, than them, and uh, but you realize that one month into the course when you really can't do much,
Mhm.
and you again the clock is ticking. So yes, I just did that 2 hours thing in the morning. Tried to do that every day. Gave a lot of marks. Again, a bad decision
Tell
towards
me,
the end.
tell me when you say a lot, what, how many are we talking about here?
I think I gave about 15 marks.
1-5.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I think yeah, if not 15, at least 13.
It's still a huge number.
Yes. I gave all the so that with the Kaplan series you get 10 tests,
Okay.
which totally misjudge your
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask how representative
ability.
is it? Because I know they haven't put in a lot of money into
No,
R&D recently.
what I don't know whatever they've put in, but you on the first test you can do a million mistakes and you'll get a 690.
Oh, wow. That's the confidence booster.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but the Kaplan GMAT tests are nowhere close to giving you a fair representation of where you are.
Okay.
And yeah, they are nowhere close. Because if they were close, I should not have bombed the second time.
Hmm.
uh, on the 9 tests I had 700 pluses on 5.
Okay. But again, so this time you did, so the first time I think when you took the test, there was no exam pack one. The second time when you took the test, the exam pack one was available, right? October.
uh, the GMAT prep you're talking about.
The other two additional tests.
So I did those again. Those are the last two I did.
No, but you also had the two additional ones available in
I
October of
didn't take
2000.
it. I didn't take it in October.
Okay.
I didn't take it in October. I
Okay.
thankfully I didn't take it in October.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I know
I
they
didn't.
came somewhere around August of 2013.
Yeah. So no, I didn't even know about it until when I actually went online and did a lot of research. But anyway, I didn't take that. I did the last two GMAT preps and I got about a 730 and 710.
But those were repeats, so I think.
Yeah, you could. I didn't really remember. Okay, whatever. Yeah, those were probably repeats. And I also did 2-3 tests from the Manhattan GMAT,
Mm-hmm.
and I was scoring a 640, a 670. Yeah, 670 was my highest, I think. I gave 3.
And again, in that also, I'm sure your verbal would have been under what, 34, 35 or?
It was in the 34, 35. And again, I felt, in the Manhattan GMAT, great course material, great questions, but you're not really going to get it in the paper. And somehow, even on the Manhattan GMAT, you end up doing, you can make more mistakes and you get a better score.
So
So
one of the things with creating a good mock test is that you have to do a lot of simulations and
yeah, it's really,
really
it's
check
really
how you're
important.
going.
It's really important for the test to serve one purpose is to make you know where you are.
Hmm.
Because then that really changes everything.
It does, and I think that's kind of where uh, uh, it's super. I mean, we've worked a lot on mocks, and the reason we haven't released one is because we feel that we still need to work a bit more on it.
Okay.
But yes, Manhattan GMAT mocks, I think, in terms of other than GMAT prep, are probably the most accurate out there.
Yeah. So I think the English is really good. English tests are good. English tests are good.
Mhm.
Um, a close to fair, representation of where you are. Math, math, because they're tougher sums, I feel you can make more mistakes and still get a decent score. So that's but questions are good, but again, not a fair representation of where you are.
No, yeah. So again, with both of them, so in my experience, and I've had lots and lots of data points. So so the mocks serve a really good purpose on the quant side if you are in the 42 to 48 zone. Okay, they'll do
Okay.
a very fair representation. The
Okay.
moment you want to cross the 48 to 50 zone in Manhattan, the kind of skill set they test are very different from the kind of skill set that GMAT tests.
Okay, I've never hit a 48 on the Manhattan GMAT, I think. Maybe not, I don't think so. I mean, maybe this prep I did once or twice.
Hmm.
But I was in that prep, I clearly remember, I think 45 was my highest on the Manhattan.
So on the other hand, on the verbal side, Manhattan tests start to get a bit off if you are in the 35-36 range, and there they start to get out of sync. Again, it's the kind of questions that GMAT asks versus this. I mean, we've had folks in our company who scored 37-38 on Manhattan GMAT mocks and as practice, and have gone on to score 45 on the actual GMAT.
Okay, wow.
And it's not because the Manhattan mocks are different. It's just that the nature of question that they ask, the nature is very different. And because when you talked about CAT, right? We hire a lot of people who actually are from a CAT background who are at that
I've seen that.
99.97 level,
I know that.
9.98 level in CAT, and so they take the mock test and they score a 37-38 on verbal, and you look at where they made a mistake and say, okay, what's the nature of the question, and say, is this really truly representative of what was going to come on the GMAT? And at that point, it does start to kind of differ because GMAT has changed in the last 5 years.
True.
So a lot of those questions are still OG10, which is actually when I took the exam. So
Okay.
And thankfully, GMAT has changed.
Okay.
So you did the second attempt. You pretty much focus on the Kaplan material.
So again, there I did a lot of practice on the English.
Mhm.
Okay, and I was hitting a constant 34, 35, 36.
Mhm.
I hit 36 a couple of times, never more than 36. And I thought that, and my math was again a 50, 51, 49. So I was like, okay, with this, I'll probably. So I didn't know, I didn't know that after 34, 35,
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do to improve my English.
Okay.
Because clearly practice was not helping. Only practice was not helping.
Mhm.
Moreover, like I said, I sort of put it in my mind that I don't read books. I am comparatively slow at reading, when compared to a lot of people. So I
Okay.
felt that I can't really. RC is gone.
Okay.
So you make that block in your head, and you can do a lot of practice, but really didn't help. But still, I thought that maybe getting a 36, and if I ace it in the math, I'll do it this time.
Yeah, 36 and 49 gets you a 700. Yes.
Yeah, so I
710
thought
actually.
I thought I'll ace it, and yes, I went into the test the second time, and I absolutely don't know what happened.
Okay. You
Yeah,
did
I
reasonably well
just
on quant, if I remember right.
I think I got a 47.
Yes.
But there also I knew that I've not done it up to my potential, because when you're hitting a 50 or a 49, and when it's not at that level.
Yep.
You just know it. So I knew that again I knew I'm not at a 59 50 and 49 level, and I uh, I knew that okay, I've done okay, but then this time I did not, at least I did not decide to just get up from just skip questions in English and move forward. I still thought that okay, I'll still be close. Hopefully, maybe a 36 can become a 38 on that day,
Okay.
and
That's good.
because
It's good to be optimistic, right? That kind of allows you to put in.
yeah, but so this time I felt you're always under certain amount of pressure, which I swear to God I have never felt before.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of things I've really not felt that, but no matter how prepared you are, everybody is in some sort of pressure for the GMAT, because I think everybody really wants to get there. I think this is that stage in life when someone really wants to go.
I think this is so. What really happens with the GMAT? It's a transition that you want. It's
Yeah.
prior to this, whatever you were studying, you had those parents, and you have to really kind of do things for them. But this is
True.
kind of the only time when they say, okay, you're well settled, do whatever you're doing, and say, no, I want to see.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all in your hands, and yeah, and you make a big mountain out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I went into the paper, and somehow this time, the funny part was, so I came to one conclusion that I can't make an excuse saying that I'm under pressure and I can't do it, for two reasons. One, I had never been like that before, and second reason is that everybody is going to be in that sort of pressure. So that's not an excuse. If I say that my capability without pressure is 50, and my capability with pressure is what, 44, then that is my capability, because everybody is going to be under that pressure, a little bit of pressure. So I think it's important to really tackle the pressure.
That's true.
And yeah. So I sort of went into the exam, and I went on with the questions. I did my normal, the way I did my do my mocks. I didn't really care about whether I'm doing it right or not right. And in math, whether you're right or not right.
Yep.
In English, somehow I never knew that until EG-MAT happened and that stage came in. But I never knew that whether this is right or not right, and I just moved on. And I thought that, oh God, after I finished the English section, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna click on OK, and please get me at least a 680, 690.
And then let me be done with it.
Yeah, please.
I have a good profile. I think 680, 690 is going to be enough.
Something like that. And I clicked the button, and there was a 630 flashing, and this time I was clueless and demotivated and really lost, because I didn't know what went wrong.
So at this stage, second attempt, 15 mocks plus probably 4 or 5 in the first attempt, so 20 mocks, and probably about 400 to 500 hours put in already. You're studying 2 hours every day in the morning, plus the mocks on the weekend. So yeah. How are you still, attempting sentence correction or critical reasoning? What was your approach towards it?
At that point in time? Okay, so for sentence correction, I read Manhattan GMAT. Okay, I read it 2 times, and when you read it, you feel that, whoa, you know everything, but there's such a plethora of rules that I really don't think you can apply it in the exam. Okay, and I thought the solution to that is read it again. And you go read it again, and then you feel that, okay, I remember everything. But still, when you have to answer questions in a span of those 30 seconds to 1.5 minutes, what we get, it is just not, it will all not strike to you. An entire book of 300 pages, one rule is just not going to strike to you. So that was the wrong way of learning.
But you also joined Chopra's, right? So they didn't.
That was somehow, they didn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think, maybe they could have helped a student who's getting a 540, 550 in his mocks to come to a 630. I don't know, but at least whatever I felt that I'm capable of, I felt there was no value add at all.
Okay. All right. So this was October. So yeah. And so for you were again dormant for 6 months. You said, okay, this year is gone. Is that how it happened, or did you go to GMAT Club right away?
No. Then I sort of, so then you make it a big thing, and my parents were like, relax, it's okay. They've been really supportive, and everybody was like, it's okay, just do your thing. You're doing great professionally, and take it, because they were also shocked that I'm not, performing. But obviously, they won't tell you that.
Yep, they won't.
Yeah, they won't tell you that, because it's not really happened so many times that I have not performed. So they were like, it's okay, just move on with your life for a while at least. We'll see what we have to do. You can study for symbiosis, you can study for the cat, and all sort of things. They were first like, let's relax, and it had really taken a toll on me, because I have never felt that way. So I'm a student who got a 78% on his 10th when he really started studying in Feb. Okay. And my mom thought that if I sit in Hyderabad, and if I'm going to be there with my friends, I'm going to do my 12th also. So she said, go to boarding school. And and maybe apart from she never wanted. We've stayed in Pune earlier, so she was never okay with the concept of Narayana Chaitanya sort of studying.
Okay.
And she really didn't want. She never thought that I am going to be an engineer. First of all, she thought that I'm not meant to be an engineer. So she said, go there, you'll have an all-round development, and if you
still right, you're still in sales and marketing, you're not an engineer.
Yes. So I never wanted to. I wanted to do engineering, but I always wanted to do engineering, but from a purpose that it will widen my horizon. So my dad's heading an FMCG company back in India, and I didn't want to get into FMCG at all.
Okay.
Right. And or at least I didn't really fancy it. And so I thought that when I do engineering, I'll have a technical background. My reasons for doing engineering, I'm sort of digressing. My reasons for doing engineering were that I'll have a technical background. I'll widen my horizon with the companies I can approach. And I thought that engineering has a tougher coursework as compared to a BCom and all. And so I thought a tougher coursework will still make me be, it will keep me on the toes, because if I had a BCom, I'd just not study.
Yeah, I think if you need tough coursework, go in medicine. I think that's the place to go.
That is, if you have to sacrifice your life, go to medicine. So so those were the reasons, and Manipal clicked, and Manipal had a good brand name, and I did electronics and communication.
Okay.
So which means that I must have done the test well.
Yes, those ENC and computer science are the top two, right? Yes.
Yeah. So yes, and what she said is that so she said you go do Bishop School Pune, and if you're really meant to be an engineer, and if you go get through, you go. I had an admit from St. Stephen's for maths honors.
Oh wow. Okay.
I didn't do that because eventually I said I wanted to be an engineer, and now I'm going to do that. And I went to Pune and I did my 12th, but I'm going to be an engineer. That's it. I'm not going to go to St. Stephen's.
Okay. So then you went there, third attempt, and so.
So this time, for the first 6 months, I left it because I was just clueless on what to do. I didn't know how to improve, what to improve. When you reach such a big question mark, it's a big problem. So then as Jan came, I started going on to GMAT Club to see if people give it a third attempt or not, first of all. And therein I saw a lot of success stories. And I was like, okay, I decided that I'm going to give it again one last time. And then I was like, I need to do something differently. I didn't know what that differently is. I just said that something has to be different, otherwise I'm going to do it again. I started off, when I started studying, I started off with math. I got this book on critical reasoning called, I saw it online. People were recommending that book.
Even PowerScore?
Yes, right. I ordered that book on Amazon. And I read that. I thought that was a different thing. I'll do this time. And I actually spent a month before joining EGMAT. So I was a month into studying before joining EGMAT. And I read the pass code, and I felt that I already know all this. Why this is not going to do anything to me? Okay. And so then luckily, I literally felt God wanted me to score the third time, and I saw EGMAT on GMAT Club.
Okay. And how did that happen?